All right, YouTube. So now we have the Philadelphia Eagles following their playoff loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Some of the players in the locker room are defending offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo. We're going to get into that right now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on this channel to get more sports news. Now, my commentary, my opinion of this is that there were a number of things that were wrong with the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, the offensive coordinator being an issue, but I also believe that Jalen Hurts himself is an issue. Now, that's not to say that Kevin Patullo was a good offensive coordinator or even efficient enough, but Jalen Hurts, as much as I like him, is a limited quarterback. And when you have a limited quarterback, you're going to get limited results. And when a limited quarterback, the offensive coordinator is going to be limited in what play calls he can call. When they had Kellen Moore, he was a better play caller and he put Jalen Hurts in better situations to be able to be efficient, which ultimately led to them going to the Super Bowl. So, that being said, let's get into it. Says what players were saying from Mulata to Devontae Smith to Saquon Barkley and down the line was that execution was primary culprit of the team's offensive inefficiencies this season. That it was the players, not the plays, that were largely responsible for the defending champs' downfall. Now, the problem with that is you had A.J. Brown for the majority of their season taking heat from hell for calling out the thing that basically showed up in the playoffs. And it always tends to happen that way. When you got a player who's saying something's going to happen, this is going to happen, it always tends to blow up in the worst possible time. It blew up in the playoffs and it got them out. So it says, externally, the finger pointing has begun in earnest, and much of it is in the direction of first-year offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo. His evaluation to the post after Kellen Moore left to become the head coach of the New Orleans Saints was the only major change for a Pro Bowl-rich unit that finished second in rushing last season and clicked into higher gear in the playoffs, with the Eagles posting 95 points over their final two games to capture the Lombardi Trophy in runaway fashion. Now, if you have Saquon Barkley, who went crazy last season, and it ultimately led to them winning the Super Bowl, and then Saquon Barkley the following season, which is this past season, he basically has the opposite of what he had last season. The only thing that changed was the offensive coordinator. So obviously, the offensive coordinator is the issue here. Now, there can be chemistry issues in the locker room. Obviously, A.J. Brown going off on, not on players, but basically going off in the media and saying what was needed to be said and everybody was kind of avoiding, obviously rubbed some players wrong, rubbed the organization wrong, rubbed coaches wrong. In the locker room, it doesn't help, but he's screaming the truth. He's been screaming the truth the entire time, and he's almost got scapegoated, basically. So A.J. Brown is definitely out of there. He's not coming back to Philadelphia. That's a fact. So let's go on with this. It says, quote, I'll say it like this. It's easier to blame somebody who gets paid less than your starting people. Everybody knows that. Everyone in this effing locker room, even the guys, you know that. But the story makes better sense if you're pointing at someone else and not the player, end quote. That's cool, and it makes a lot of sense. And a lot of those players have to look internally, but obviously it's still going to fall down on the offensive coordinator, who was the one major change in that locker room post Super Bowl win. So there's a lot of changes that's probably going to come to Philadelphia. The GM is definitely going to make a lot of different moves. Let me know what you think about this particular situation. Should Kevin Patullo lose his job after a failed postseason this season for the Philadelphia Eagles? Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I will see you in the next story.